Everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the penny stocks. Okay, so these are all the small caps that were in play today, or at least some of the small caps that were in play today. Okay, so first up, let's look at SRNE. Okay, this one made a nice breakout today. It had the FDA approval news, and so as you can see here, it broke out above the high close horizontal resistance level. It was trading at a tight range, and then it broke out above that level today on a volume spike. It was halted intraday. And so as you can see, it's been this very strong uptrend. And so the breakout above resistance is signaling more upside potential. As you can see, it closed up 17%. If you look here at the weekly chart for SRNE, you can see, after forming a double bottom down here in 2017, it's really been cooking. It broke above all the moving averages. And then now it's hitting this 2015 November resistance zone. And so this is the key level to break. It's currently trading above $10 right now in after hours trading. This week's candle will not set until the closing bell on Friday, but if it closes this week above this 2015 resistance level, that would be really bullish, and then you'll be looking for a run up to the 12 resistance zone, the 12-13 resistance zone from back here in August of 2015. So yeah, so this is a really good move. It's riding EMA 4 at 889 support higher. As long as it's riding EMA 8 or EMA 4 support higher on the weekly chart, the signals to keep riding. Okay, look at NVCN. This is a really bullish move today. Closed up 26%. This had the big bounce, right? So it's been riding EMA 4 resistance lower. It was a bullish move, but it was not a nice pullback from the high of day. It did close above the pink line. This is the first close above EMA 4 since this white candle right here back in January. So it does signal a possible change in trend, but it has to stay above 226. If you see it drop back below EMA 4, no longer be in play. It has to get above the 25 resistance zone and close above EMA 8. If it fails to close above that level, that's a red flag. You can see they drove the share price back from EMA 13 up here at 28, and so this isn't what bulls wanted to see. Above 25 signals more upside. If it drops below 23, that's going to signal it's a risk to hold. Okay, let's look at Bioc. Okay, yeah, this made a nice move as well today. Another one of those dead cat bounce type plays. This had the big pullback with the gap on the chart over here. And you can see today it finally closed above the middle Bollinger Band. It closed above EMAs 4, 8, and 13. So if it could stay above 31, that'll keep it in play. It needs to break above this bottom of the gap level. It's hitting the upper Bollinger Band at 36, and then if it can get above the bottom of the gap, which is at about 37 or so, then it could possibly fill the gap and run up to the bottom of the gap, which is up here around 47, and that 50-day simple moving average at 52. If it fails to break the bottom of the gap level, that's going to signal a temporary top. It has to hold that middle Bollinger Band to get a new uptrend going. Okay, let's look at MYO. It's at 62 on RSI, so it's heating up here. It made this nice bullish move. Notice how the green dots flipped below the candles, and so now the dots are below the candles. That's parabolic SAR. SAR stands for stop and reverse, so it's a signal that this downtrend that started on the break below the middle Bollinger Band has possibly stopped, and maybe a new uptrend is beginning. As long as that middle Bollinger Band, that $4 support level holds, that'll signal more upside. It does have to break this closing price here on the 31st of January. If it can get above that level at about 475 or so, then it could run back up here to test the high close in January. That's the big level to break, right up there around that 430 resistance zone. So yeah, this is a very sweet move. It just has to get above 475 to test 530. If you see it stall out at that 475 level, it could come down and test the middle Bollinger Band. It has to stay above 4 to remain in play. Okay, let's look at ENPH. Okay, this had a really big follow through today. It's been on a multi-day run. As you can see here, it's on a 4-day run, and then it had the big gap up open. So there is a space on the chart between high of day on this candle and low of day on that candle. And so, between these two candles, so you could see a pullback to EMA 4 and fill that gap at some point. So keep that in mind. There was very big volume behind the move today. It's getting frothy above that upper Bollinger Band. Many times the candles will like to work back into the bands. If you look here on the weekly chart for ENPH, you can see it's breaking out above 2017 high close resistance. This closing closing price here in November is the key level to close above, along with this February 2016 level. Notice how they're both lined up at the same level. A close above 3 would be very bullish for the week. And then now it's hitting this 2015, December 2015 resistance zone. And so, just above 350 is the next big level to break. So you want to see a weekly close above 3. This week's candle won't set until the closing bell on Friday. And then a break above that 350, 360 resistance zone. If that happens, then it could run up to $5 and test that 200-week moving average. Okay, if it fails to break resistance, that will signal a temporary top. Okay, keep an eye on TEUM. It's heating up here. RSI at 59, closed up 14% today. Check out the green line crossed above the red line. That's a bullish crossover, plus DI above minus DI. And so the bullish move today was that close above the green line. That's the 50-day simple moving average. Notice how it was holding here, and then the candles dropped below, and it became resistance. Now today it's back above. It closed above the middle Bollinger Band, which is the dotted purple line down here around $2, and above the 50-day simple moving average at 211. If it stays above both levels, that'll signal that it wants to head higher. So keep an eye on it. This looks like it could have continuation above. If 210 holds, it's in play for a possible swing trade. You're looking at the recent highs back here on these two candles are the big levels to break, and so you're looking at a possible retrace back to $3 if it can hold that 50-day simple moving average and middle Bollinger Band. Okay, yeah, and also notice that it did have the nice volume spike. Today was the largest volume since back here in January. So it broke above resistance on a volume spike. It's a good idea to take notice. Okay, look at ATOS. Keep an eye on the stock. It's back at resistance. It's been struggling with this blue line here. This is the third time it's at that level. Notice that's the 300-day simple moving average, currently at about 70 cents there. And so if it can break above that 70 resistance zone with a close above, that should signal it wants to head higher. It's got this pattern going here. Eventually, one of these two levels is going to break, either ascending support or descending resistance. So a close above 70 would signal it finally wants to head higher. And then you'd be looking for a run up here to the 75 resistance zone, the closing price in this candle. It will have to get above this high close as well at 72.50, another key level to break. But yeah, keep an eye on it. If it could stay above the middle Bollinger Band at 63 there, then that'll keep it in play. If it drops below 63, then it will be a risk to hold. Just going to see if it can follow through. It did have a volume spike today. Take a look at CPST capstone here. It's up above 50 on RSI. We have above 50 on Fasto, and then we've got the crossover here on ADX, and then as you can see right here, it had the very big pullback. It made the high up here around $1, hit that dollar resistance zone and pulled back. It hit the 50-day simple moving average 80 support zone, and then today it bounced. It's back above the middle Bollinger Band and above the 100-day simple moving average at 86. If it could stay above 86, that would be really bullish. It needs to get above 92.50, and then this 96 resistance zone, this closing price here. If it can get above the closing price on the what is that, on the 9th there, then that's going to signal that it wants to head higher. So yeah, keep an eye on CPST. We're going to see if it can follow through after making a bullish move today. If it doesn't get above 92.5, that's going to signal a temporary top. Okay, check out BPMX. Okay, it made the nice move today up 13%, but it is at 76 on RSI, so it's frothy. And then you had the sell signal here on Fasto, and it has the sharp pullback like that. It's getting pretty parabolic there on plus DI. This is on a multi-day run. Okay, so it's on a 5-day run. The run started down here. And then it pushed really hard with the big volume spike today, what we call a climax spike, and then it has the long upper wick, and the pullback from the 200-day simple moving average at 282. Failed to break above that 200-day simple moving average, and the candles will work back into the bands. The black spinning top here with the long lower and upper wicks signals to head to the sidelines. If you look at the previous time it formed a pattern like this, there was a big gap down open, and so this was the lock and gains day. The candles are likely to work back, fail to get above resistance, and work back into the bands. And then you would look at EMA4 down here at 21.6 as the big support level. That's the downside risk for those that held overnight. To be sure to lock in gains when the stock breaks a big level, like the 200-day simple moving average intraday, and then fails to close above. I mean, many times that's going to signal a temporary top and that it's going to pull back. Okay, let's look at CEI. This is Camber Energy here. It's up above 30 on RSI, above 20 on Fasto. It's trying to heat up. It's another one of those bounce plays. Just keep an eye on it. It closed right at EMA 4 at 0.087. If it can close above that level, then it could possibly heat up. So we're going to see if it can follow through. It has to get above EMA 8 at 0.093. Okay, keep in mind anything that's forming candles below EMA 4 on the daily chart and closing below that level does make it a risk to hold. You know, it did have this volume spike today, so it might heat up. So keep an eye on it. And one more to leave you with is LVVV. Okay, congrats to everybody in the chat that was trading this. I know everybody made good money, so congrats. It was up 115%. So good job there. You know, it closed really strong. It closed high of day. Notice it does have RSI at 83, so it is hitting overbought levels. So it's at a frothy level here on RSI, and then you do have Fasto maxed out at 100, so it's temporarily overbought, especially with the candle pushing through the upper Bollinger Band. You can see the last time it formed a similar candle was on the 29th, and it pulled back. So be you know, ready for possible candles working back into the bands. If that happens, EMA 4 at 0.033 is the next key support level to hold. Okay, and then as long as the middle Bollinger Band down there at 0.022 holds, the uptrend should continue. You want to see it stay above the top. It was in the sideways channel, and this candle right here is the top of the channel at 28. You want to see it stay above the top of the channel and hold 28 on a pullback. If you look here at the weekly chart, this is going to show the next resistance levels, and you can see here it had you know, this thing has been, you know, a huge money maker. 2016, you know, you could have got this at 0.001, you know, and now it's hitting 5 cents. So huge money maker. It's all the way back up to this key level. Okay, so over here, 2014 resistance zone, and this is going to be a really tough level to break. You know, it was pretty smooth sailing getting up here. You know, there wasn't a lot of resistance, but now this is a big resistance level, so you might see it top out here at 50. So keep an eye on this 50 zone, especially with this being a key level on, you know, with it breaking out on the daily chart. If it pulls back, you can see EMA 4 down here at 0.317 is the big level to hold. As long as candles are riding EMA 4 support higher, the chart's super strong and the signals to keep riding. If you see it break above 6 cents, that's going to be really bullish, and then, you know, it looks like it could eventually work its way back up here to this 13 level. You know, it's filling the jar all the way back up. So this is an amazing run. Yeah, you know, sometimes it pays just to buy and hold, right? Okay, so thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis and how to use this information for trading, please come check out our chat. We'll post the link below the video. Thank you.